These are my 15 most anticipated TV shows still to come in 2025. I'll admit, I'm a bit of an obsessive streamer, especially when it comes to checking out new content. So far, 2025 has dropped some highly anticipated series on us, such as Dexter, Original Sin, The Studio, Daredevil, Born Again, and Mobland, and they all lived up to their hype. Lucky for us, more are on the way. These are my most anticipated new series still to start streaming in 2025, by order of release date. Who doesn't love a good old dysfunctional family crime drama, especially if it's inspired by true events? Netflix has many new shows to start watching in June, and this is one you'll want on your list. The Waterfront is shaped by events involving creator Kevin Williamson's own fisherman father. It focuses on the fictional Buckley family in North Carolina and explores their struggles in a declining fishing industry. In order to uphold their family legacy and keep their fishing empire afloat, they must go to extreme lengths. Those lengths, of course, include treacherous waters, full of drug smuggling, so expect some tension and drama mixed in with all this action, and plenty of witty writing. It stars Duran Cody, Jake Weary, from Animal Kingdom, so you know it's going to be good. You won't hear me speak up in any of the Marvel vs. DC debates, I love them both. That's why I can't wait to check out the Ironheart series on Disney+, which shares continuity with the films of the Marvel franchise. Following the events of 2022's Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, brilliant teenage inventor Riri Williams, Dominique Thorne, builds her own Iron Man-like suit, then returns home to Chicago. There, she meets the Hood, a mysterious magic-wielding character with whom she becomes entangled. Ironheart is set to explore the clash between Riri's technological prowess and the Hood's magic, as well as how their adventurous paths full of danger intertwine. Drama, superheroes, danger, and adventure. I'm in. Smoke, inspired by a true story, stars Taron Egerton as an arson investigator who begrudgingly teams up with a troubled police detective in a race to stop two serial arsonists in the Pacific Northwest. In the process, a twisted game of secrets and suspicions ignites. Now, here's what's interesting. Smoke is executive produced by Egerton and reunites the creative team behind Apple TV+'s acclaimed hit limited drama Blackbird, which was a fascinating peek into what it takes to manipulate a criminal psyche. Also, Radiohead's Tom York wrote and performed the theme song, so expect it to be full of musical brilliance, and expect Smoke to be one wild, adrenaline-fueled ride. America's favorite vigilante serial killer with a penchant for dark brilliance and wit is back. Dexter, Resurrection is, hands down, one of my top most anticipated new series of 2025. I love the Dexterverse and am thrilled to see it expanding. Resurrection is the long-awaited sequel to Dexter, New Blood, which was the sequel to the original series, Dexter. Resurrection picks up weeks after the events of New Blood, with the titular character awakening from a coma in the hospital to discover that his son has disappeared without a trace. After realizing the weight of what he put Harrison, Jack Alcott, through, Dexter, Michael C. Hall, sets out for New York City, determined to find him and make things right. While he lies low under a new identity, a series of brutal murders begin to occur, and they mirror his exact signature, precise, ritualistic, and personal. Dexter soon realizes he's not the only one who has returned. Moreover, a mysterious billionaire, Peter Dinklage, interested in serial killers brings New York's finest together, so expect a sort of murder-con convention. This sequel looks to be a messy, bloody season full of thrills, spills, and chills. Based on horror master Stephen King's 2019 novel of the same name, The Institute is a dark, psychological horror thriller about a kid who awakens in a strange, creepy place, not unusual for a Stephen King tale. After his parents are murdered, teen genius Luke Ellis, Joe Freeman, is mysteriously abducted and taken to a brutalist-style facility housing other young kids, each of whom possesses the gifts of telepathy and telekinesis. So, what we have here is a shadowy organization snatching kids with the shine. Their task is simple: Move objects with your mind or break the rules and experience grown-up consequences, like torture. Don't worry, you won't see much of it, but it will be implied. No external force is coming to save these kiddos, so it's up to them to find their own way out. Based on the tale of Ke'eana, a ferocious native Hawaiian warrior, Chief of War is the story of the unification of the Hawaiian Islands from an indigenous perspective. At the turn of the 18th century, the four major kingdoms of the islands were at war, on the precipice of Western colonization. When Ke'eana returns from his outside travels, where he set out to learn more about those invading his homeland, Ke'eana joins a bloody campaign. At the last minute, he rebels against the island's unification, an action that labeled him the Prince of Kauai and the most famous Hawaiian in the world. Co-created by Jason Momoa, the series isn't just a historical dramatization, it's also a cultural reclamation. It explores the challenges and complexities of unifying the islands before colonization, including internal conflicts and the looming threat of Western influence. Expect Chief of War to be as authentic as possible. Momoa had cultural advisors involved in every department, even building war vessels using historical techniques. If you watched See, you know what to expect out of Momoa, which is for him to breathe the life of a giant into this dramatization and give everything he's got to this role. So, mark your calendars. You don't want this one to join the list of the best Apple TV Plus shows you're missing out on. Perhaps everyone's most anticipated series dropping this year is Alien, Earth. A prequel to the 1979 film Alien, the series is set in 2120 and follows a young woman named Wendy, Sydney Chandler, as she and a ragtag group of tactical soldiers make a terrifying discovery. When a deep space research vessel crash lands on Earth, it reveals the planet's most dangerous threat, the xenomorphs. Now face to face with them, what will Wendy and her crew do? Alien, Earth will explore a world where humans are no longer the dominant species, and where the line between humans and artificial life blurs. It'll also delve into the dark side of corporate dominance and its impact on the working class, both of which are extremely relevant themes of today. While you wait for its arrival, check out these 3 fantastic Hulu shows to watch. Did someone say gritty crime drama? Those are my favorite, and I'm all in. Set in the working-class suburbs of Philadelphia, Task follows FBI agent Tom Brandeis, Mark Ruffalo, as he investigates a series of violent robberies. Living a double life and leading these robberies is local garbage collector Robbie Prendergast, Tom Pelfrey. Task explores the moral complexities of justice as the FBI agent and his task force face a difficult decision about how to handle a case involving a seemingly ordinary, unsuspecting family man. What makes this series so anticipated? In addition to the story and cast, it's created and written by Brad Inglesby, who penned the HBO hit Mayor of Easttown. Created, written, and directed by Sterling Harjo, of Reservation Dogs fame, The Lowdown follows the gritty exploits of Lee Rabin, Ethan Hawke, a citizen journalist and self-proclaimed Tulsa truthstorian, whose obsession with the truth always lands him smack dab in the middle of trouble. Rabin is committed to exposing corruption and unearthing the hidden rot of Tulsa, Oklahoma's underbelly. When a suspicious suicide occurs just after his latest exposé is published, he suspects he's just uncovered a major conspiracy involving some prominent people. The Lowdown highlights the risks and consequences that accompany the exposure of corruption, particularly in a place where the powerful strive to maintain their grip. Instead of a battle for the Iron Throne, here we have a battle for the truth. Fire up the presses because there's a new mockumentary-style sitcom on its way. The paper is set in an expanded version of the ridiculously warped but hilarious Dunder Mifflin storyverse of The Office. Starring the very talented Domhnall Gleeson, the paper will feature the same documentary crew that immortalized Dunder Mifflin's Scranton branch. They are on the lookout for a new subject when they discover a historic Midwestern newspaper, Toledo-based The Truth Teller, in dire straits. With its publisher desperately trying to revive it, the crew sets up shop and starts rolling. Netflix's hit monster anthology series from Ryan Murphy returns with its 3rd installment, this time diving into the life and crimes of the infamous Ed Gein. The Wisconsin killer came to be known as the original monster because his gruesome legacy shaped modern horror. Gein, Charlie Hunnam, was raised on a secluded farm and was instilled with the belief that women and sexuality were immoral. After his parents and brother died, Gein started snatching then killing people in his hometown and exhuming corpses to use their remains for things like lampshades, chairs, and clothes. Gross, I know. The new season will revisit Gein's crimes and explore how his story has influenced generations of modern horror depictions, such as Norman Bates in Psycho, Leatherface in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and Buffalo Bill in The Silence of the Lambs. It will also explore his relationships with the loved ones around him who failed to notice the signs, as well as Hollywood's fascination with true crime. Yellowstone just ended, so how can a spin-off be ready so soon? No idea, other than the fact that Taylor Sheridan is just a beast at getting what he wants done in record time. The tentatively titled Dutton Ranch is a spin-off of Yellowstone starring Kelly Riley and Cole Hauser. While not much information is readily available, Bloomberg reported in April that the series will explore Beth Dutton's and Rip Wheeler's lives after the events of the Yellowstone season finale and follow them as they establish their own ranching legacy. I don't know about you, but I'll watch these two do anything. Here's hoping we get to see Beth doing what she's best at, mouthing off and duking it out with the best of them. Swords, sandals, scandals, and gladiators. I'll be in the front row for that. This fall, Starz brings us back inside the Batiatus Ludus, Gladiator School, with its new historical fiction series Spartacus, House of Usher. A spin-off of 2010 Spartacus, House of Usher is set in an alternate timeline where Usher, Nick Tarabay, who was originally killed off at Mount Vesuvius, survives. After helping the Romans defeat Spartacus, he is rewarded with Batiatus's gladiator school. The series will explore Usher's immense power, relationships with other characters, and the challenges he faces as a master of the ludus. He was a bit of a jerk in the original series, so chances are he'll also be facing retribution from those he wronged in the past. From the looks of the teaser, expect high-quality stunts, artistically brutal fights, and lots of bloodshed, along with plenty of drama and sensuality, of course. Stephen King's It terrified me as a child. To this day, I avoid gutters and clowns. As much as it scared me as a kid, though, the story of Pennywise intrigues me as an adult. As such, I'm stoked that HBO Max worked closely with the horror master to bring us a prequel to his hit novel. It, Welcome to Derry is based on interludes from King's novel that explore the historical tragedies of Derry. Set in 1960s Maine, the series will expose the origins of Pennywise the Clown and delve into the town's dark history. There, we'll find out how it became a breeding ground for evil. Welcome to Derry will focus on a new group of characters, including a new Losers Club, who encounter the early manifestations of the evil entity and the events that lead to Pennywise's reign of absolute terror. Get those nightlights ready. An adaptation of the graphic novels by Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips, who are known for their grim, hard-boiled crime stories, Criminal isn't your traditional heist story. It is, however, one of 2025's most anticipated series, and it promises to be riveting. Following multiple generations of criminal families, Brubaker describes the series as an interweaving saga of several generations of families tied together by crimes and murders of the past. Prime Video will adapt the first two stories from the criminal novels for the first season. It stars Charlie Hunnam as Leo Patterson, a brilliant master thief who refuses to reach for a gun and only takes a job if he can be convinced it's 100% safe. As a skilled pickpocket, he's forced to cooperate with police in a robbery that seems far too ideal. When he signs up for an armored car heist, it devolves into something unexpected and, in the process, lands him in more trouble than is expected for that kind of felony.